Hey, one and all, it's Katrina. Hope you had a great week. Mine has been chaotic, but what did I expect, You make bad choices, cleanup work, My transgressions are so long, and I keep messing up. I mess up every day. So, when I get around to it, I'll make you a full list, but until then, if others want to call, get ahead of me and call me out, that's fine too. Feel free. But as a human being and as a woman, yes, I make mistakes, and I'm going to continue to make them till I die. And that is the end of that. So I'm going to start this by saying one thing, and I'm never going to address this again. I'm not going to address this ever again. So I started making video because I'm a writer at heart, but yet I felt like I had something that I had to do. I had to say. I knew I was smart, and I knew I had seen this from every angle, and that we had something worthwhile to contribute, even if it was nothing more than saying, hey, look at this bullshit life that I have now. You don't want to be that, like a cautionary tale. It didn't matter. I was going to jump in, flawed and all, and that's it. I wasn't waiting till I was perfect. But I'll tell you this. Anybody who wants a story, if you have a better relationship with God than me, and I'm quite sure you probably do, I want you to knock on his door, and I want you to arrange some sort of transaction where I can have my daughter back and you can have this bullshit story. If you can make that happen, I'd be forever indebted to you. Because the truth is, there isn't a day or a moment that goes by that I wouldn't rather have her instead. I want that life back. There's nothing I wouldn't do to go back. But since I can't, I make sense of where I am right now and try to find some sort of meaning in this life. Find some sort of meaning in the mistakes. Make it right somehow. And even if it is for nothing more than to say, hey, look at what I lost. That's good enough. And if it's not for you, then don't listen to me and go out and make the same mistakes. And then when you're sitting in my shoes, you tell me how you feel, if it doesn't break you. You see, I'm no victim, and that's the whole point of coming out, is to say I'm no victim. That I'm a person who is far from religious, but the transformation in me has been happening, and I'm not a saint. In fact, I'm far from it. And this message goes out to young ladies. I'm going to tell you this. All my life from as far back as I can remember, somebody told me I owed them something. Oh, well, you were dressed that way. It's your fault. My foster father, you had those shorts on. It's your fault. You had that shirt on. It's your fault. And I have been buying that bullshit all my life. And I have felt guilty and indebted to people that just wanted to do me harm all my life. And I have walked around with that shame and that regret and not lived up to my potential. There was a point in my life where I was striving for my potential, for my children. But I got buried under the voices that I kept hearing. And as women, as young women, you are struggling. My daughter struggled. She was a loving soul. She was a beautiful soul, and people still picked on her. Young girls, don't treat each other that way. Do you not know, do you not understand that girl that's out there stripping or whatever, do you not understand that she's reaching for love because she's been told she's nothing, and when other girls tell you you're nothing, or when other girls exclude you, you reach for friendships with boys, with men. They give you approval of some kind. It's better than nothing. Or maybe they didn't have a father or whatever. Do you not understand? And I'm not saying that I haven't been, and still, girls that offend me, hurt me, yeah, they piss me off. I'm not God. I am Katrina. And I'm going to tell you that when they hurt me and I haven't done anything to them, or they try to whatever for their self-esteem issues, or just because they're just mean, it pisses me off, because I'm not perfect. But I'm at a point in my life right now where I'm like, you know what? No, I'm not letting you take me to that level. I'm not doing it. Because all it is, it's not the individual. It's the evil. It's the negativity, right? And my daughter loved other girls. She was a complimenting, beautiful soul, and yet she was still attacked every chance or taken advantage of. And the first time I found out about someone harming my child, I have to tell you, it was a heartbreaking moment that I never recovered from, because I thought I had protected her in every way possible. And that was the beginning of the end for me. I'm not blaming that for my addiction, but I will tell you it certainly was the catalyst. And that sweet, naive soul who put herself in the wrong situations and whatever, it changed her. And why did that have to happen? We're all born beautiful and innocent. Why did that have to happen? It didn't. But it's life. And all you could do is make the best of it. You owe no one nothing. If you want to strip, do whatever you want to do if it makes you happy, if you're comfortable with it. Don't ever feel like you do something because you owe someone, because you owe no one. Even when I've had enemies in the last 4 years that have had to help me, and I've had to take it. And I've been grateful. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to let them continue to hurt me, take away from me, put me down, tell me I'm a felon, tell me I'm a nobody, that I used to be someone but doesn't count anymore. Well, I've been in recovery. And I'm back. And I'm going to live out God's will for me. And you're not going to be able to stop it. And I want you to look at your lives right now and know that you are worth more. And it doesn't matter where that help came from. If someone presently in your life right now is taking something from you and not making you feel better, not moving you forward, and they're taking you down or making you feel guilty or whatever, you move past it. It took me too long before I got that message. And my daughter, I had always wanted to see her grow out of that, and it didn't happen. She died still feeling like she was indebted to someone for nothing. There are predators in this world, and that's just the sad, cold truth. And one of those things that I am vigilant against is the abuse of children. It damages something that was precious and perfect. And then when they begin to self-medicate, we throw them in prisons. That has got to stop. So, anyone that has a problem with what I have to say, even today, I still struggle. I still struggle with my anger. I still struggle. I can be just the most venomous tongue you've ever seen when someone has hurt me. Old habits die hard. But even Jesus got angry. And you know what? I'm not Jesus. So, I'm a human and I'm working on myself. And if nothing else, if the only message that anyone ever gets from me is, wow, that's a cautionary tale. Don't be like her. Her life's shit. Then I have done my job. I don't owe anybody anything. In this world of reality, whatever, I don't know what that's all about. All I know is I'm trying to make meaning and purpose out of this life for myself and for my children so that I can keep going, so that I don't fall apart, so that I don't decide that it's not worth it. And that is one of the 12 steps for all those who are very enthusiastic about the 12 steps. That's one of them. Making amends, purpose, all that. When I was in the jail, there was a woman that was, I got back from the furlough after my daughter's funeral, and I was just, and that was at that point that I submitted to God, and I said, God, maybe you're trying to break me, because I didn't understand then that it was cause and effect. I just thought, wow, still in the victim mentality, but I submitted. And I remember she was just bitching, and pardon my language, but it's so not fair, it's so not fair. When I tried to get out for my nephew's funeral, no one, they wouldn't let me out, and blah, 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 and she was crying, blaming it on everything. And I remember finally after hearing this, and I was in a state of shock, and after hearing this for so long, I finally just had an outburst, and I said to her, I tell you what, I want your daughter to die. I said that. I want your daughter to die, and I'll sit in this shithole for the rest of my life, because that was the truth, and it's the truth then, it's the truth now. And I was pissed. I don't want her daughter to die. I don't want anybody's daughter to die. But at that point, that's exactly how I felt. And there have been many times that I've looked at people who were they're vicious, They took and they stole and they hurt other people, and I'm like, why are they still here? And my God, my girl's gone, It's something I stop asking why. It just is. So, it is hard. to live in this world, whether you're a girl or a boy. It's even harder when you're being told you're not supposed to look good. If you do take care of yourself, you're trying to do this or you're trying to do that. Or this one's comparing to this one and all that. I used to be fiercely competitive, and I'm going to tell you, as a woman who's learned hard lessons, the only person you need to compete against is yourself. Because there is only one you in the whole world. It doesn't matter what somebody else has or better than or whatever. It's all perception. In the end, there's only one you. And you're only going to be the best at you, and you can only better you. So might as well just compete with you. And that's it. And it's a lesson that my daughter, unfortunately, didn't get to live long enough to learn. What matters and what doesn't. And what doesn't is what someone else feels like you owe them. Those voices are gone. I don't owe you shit. I owe my children and I owe God. I wish everybody the best weekend. Thank you for listening. And I'm going to keep doing what I do. I made these videos because no one reads anymore. Well, we need to start reading. You know? It's a lack of connection. And enough's enough. So, everybody else might be making videos about who the hell knows what. That's not my problem. And I don't care. And I don't care what anyone thinks about my motives or what I believe in or don't believe in. I believe in God. But I am not religious. And I am not perfect. I am sober. And I make mistakes. And it has taken me a long time to get to where I am. And I am still nowhere near where I need to be. But that is between me and my God. So, I want you to look yourself in the mirror, and then I want you to look out at the world, not with anger or whatever, but just confidence. And if I can do it as a middle-aged woman who lost it all, started from, because my parents died as a kid, and when I was a kid, my sisters and I, we were orphaned young. I climbed out of that, and I lost it all again, and I'm climbing out of this again. And I'm not saying climbing out in terms of I'm going to be rich. That's not the point. Climbing out as in I have purpose. Thank you guys. Have a great weekend.